happening? What's happening? What's happening? How's everybody doing today? Yes, it's Thursday, and this is how you can tell this is Thursday because it's the second episode of I.O.W. Sports Show for this week. As always, I'm your host, Wildcard Mar, along with our other hosts. You got the big homie Nick Shine. He'll pop right back in. And, of course, Detroit Mel, the man with the grand master plan for the I.O.W. Sports Network, man. How we
what
doing,
up, though? Doing
how
good, bro. What up, though? What up, though?
Doing good, man. I see you got a background and make you feel like you're part of a winning culture, man. Must feel good over there, huh?
I need something to piss on.
That was good. That was good. I can't eat me, man. That was like, oh shit, bro. That was good. That was good. I see Mel is ready to go. He's ready. I take it things are well around your neck of the woods, man. That's good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, things all good. Things all good. Chasing new pussy, you know.
And there go all the viewers in the Yes, that's that type of show. That's what we
That's what we do.
Hey, we keeps it real around here.
You know what I'm saying?
We keeps it real. We talk it how it is. And man, we ain't never scared to, say how we feel. This will be the closest thing. I know a lot of people say it, but we really are. We're fans. We love the podcast, but we give like a true, honest opinion. Like it's a barbershop talk. We do use stats, but we ain't stats heavy. We do use stats, but
yes,
that's
what we got Matt for.
Yeah. So, but we like to take our stats and combine it with actual what you see. What you see.
MJ?
You know what I'm saying? So he already. Oh man, but hey, always a pleasure, gentlemen, to be here amongst fellas. So hey man.
Oh man, I'm gonna cue a little Rihanna. I love the way you lie.
No, I actually enjoy.
It's a pleasure to talk to everyone in the chat, but it's never a pleasure to talk to me and Mel. I know how you roll, bro. I got receipts for what you text me.
No, man.
Kick ass today.
No. Hey, we're gonna kick ass every time. But I mean, I don't know about y'all. Did anybody get a chance to see the NFL sideline hats yet?
I saw the one you showed.
Is that the one that's divided in half? Where like the Jets, it's like black on one side, white on the other. We know white and black
like the United States
together.
Like the United States.
No. You had a good joke, man. I said, exactly. White and black don't work well together. Of course, there's got to be a divide right down the middle.
Got to be a divide right down the middle.
And there go the other half of the view right in the first 5 minutes. So it was nice knowing you guys.
It's a really ugly design. Like I'm sure not everyone's is black and white. It just happens like the Jet one is. But the design is disgusting.
Oh, it's terrible. And depending on your team, the color schemes are absolutely trash. I said depending on the color scheme.
Color.
Yeah.
We don't use that word no more.
Terrible, like Charles Barkley. It's terrible.
Oh, I thought you were trying to call him colored.
What do you mean?
Depending on the color scheme, it's terrible. All right.
It's terrible.
Me being a Chiefs fan, it's horrible. Me being a Chiefs fan. So obviously we got
because y'all colors, man, it just look like clownish because the colors y'all have.
Oh, that's why I had to do a reel about it. For those, go to the I.O.W. Sports Network YouTube channel. I had to do a reel about it. It looks like the Dippity Doo Dog hats from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
like Burger King back in the day.
Happy away.
Right. Yep.
It's more like Stephen Lynch. I make it Burger King, make it flavor Whoppers. I wear paper hat. Do you want the fries with that? Do you want the fries with that?
I forgot about the paper hat one.
Bing, fries are done. Of course, breaking news, 409. Breaking news is always on the I.O.W. show.
We always getting breaking news at 4 o'clock, bro. I swear, bro.
Ian Rappaport. The Titans have released offensive tackle Jamarco Jones after he was tossed from practices for multiple fights, including nearly sparking a brawl. One of the players he attempted to fight, Jeffrey Simmons.
Well, first of all, It's not probably smart to try to go toe to toe with Jeffrey Simmons. That's one big dude. I wouldn't want to try to, I know we all got the alpha. Well, some of us got the alpha gene in this, and I get it. You want to show you're the premier alpha, but some dudes, I'm like, hey man, you got it. It's yours. It's yours. I'm making business decisions. All right.
Right.
But so here's my thing, because the Chiefs, we had our own little situation about training camp scuffles and all that shit. They're making a big deal out of Travis Kelce punching at another player. And here's my thing. I hate when the media hypes it up, because it's training camp. It's summertime. It's like hot as hell in August. It's hot as hell in July. You're talking about, man, we hit triple digits last week in Kansas City. I mean, you out there for 3 hours and you're going to tell me you're going to have all your senses to always make the right decisions? Hell no. So, I mean, to me, training camp scuffles are just a part of training camp. It is what it is. It don't necessarily mean anything. But it sounds like this situation, dude's just getting out of control, and he's just being, just a knucklehead. That's what that sounds like. So I don't know. That's just kind of nuts. I mean, do you fellas really care about training camp fights? I don't really think they're a big deal.
Not really.
But how
I'd rather see you
take it? How far did you take it that you got cut from the team? Like, did you go to the locker room and get a bat? Like, did you pull a blade out of your jersey pants? Your pants? Like, what did you do?
I caught you.
Yeah, scuffles happen all the time between O-line and D-line. You're going against the same guy every day. It gets chippy. Like the Jets had a couple. I don't know everyone else's social media, but you see the video in the press conference. Salah said, listen, I tell the team the same thing I tell my 7 kids. Keep it below the neck and above the waist. That's it. Like, what are you doing? That, like, are you taking Jeffrey Simmons and trying to snap his neck with the face mask? Like, I want to see the video. Oh, good. He's been on the injured list for a month anyway, not been able to fucking hit. So what's the difference?
Oh,
this fucking team is so poorly constructed. The Yankees, poorly constructed.
It is poorly constructed, but with the Yankees, I got to talk about something, and most people can relate to this. So, Herman, the pitcher. He pitched a no-hitter probably like no less than a month and a half ago.
Perfect game.
Perfect, yeah. Picked a
perfect game.
It's a perfect game.
You've been drinking ever since, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I can make that joke. I can make that joke.
Well, because here's the thing. For those who don't know about Herman, stepped away from the team. He's going under substance abuse counseling for heavily drinking and things like that. And I just gotta say, like, real talk, hey man, kudos, bro. Kudos. We got to applaud people that's realizing, hey man, I understand the platform that I'm on. I understand, what comes with being a New York Yankee, but hey man, I gotta take care of some business, man. Some real personal business. Right. Shit getting out of control. And shout out to the Yankees. They was like, hey man, handle your business. They just politely said, yo, he won't be with the team for the rest of the season. And they left it at that. Because what can you say in a situation like that where he's voluntarily taking a leave of absence to take care of some real personal shit? I think is admirable. Most people won't, most people know that they have an issue in a situation that they need to take care of, and they won't take the proper steps to take care of it or manage it or,
right.
Or even, take anything at all to make themselves better. So I commend the homie for, recognizing that he was dealing with something he couldn't shake, something he couldn't do on his own. And he's going to go see the proper people to help him with the, tools and situations that can help him manage it. So, I mean, how you feel about it, Mel?
Hey, man, same thing we talk about when we talk about mental health and anything like that. If, someone can self-actualize what they're going through and look deep within themselves and see they're going through something and get the help, you can't help but applaud that, because some people just becomes a wrecking ball, just go through, keep doing it over and over again and destroys everything in their life, everybody around them. So Yes, I was gonna leave you alone, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I think that him doing that, you gotta give him time out to let him take care of himself, because overall the game is always gonna be there, but you're not.
True.
So, you know, you gotta take care of yourself. So yeah, you gotta give him his props.
Jump in here, Nick.
I'll be honest with you, I'm going to pass on this because I've had an awful day emotionally, and I don't want to crack on the show and talking about somebody else going through that shit. I wish him well. I wish him well. I know what it's like, and even when you stop drinking, hell is still there. So good luck to my man.
No, hey, respect. Hey, I respect that, bro. It's no problem at all. Yeah, it's all good. But no, yeah, I think all three of us can honestly say, without a shadow of a doubt, man, hopefully you can get through this road and you know, come out better on the other side, man. So hey, we're all rooting for you, Armand.
And kudos to the Yankees. They did the same thing with CC Sabathia. So the Yankees have shown support before with a situation like this.
I forgot CC had that situation.
So,
I did.
You hopefully CC steps up, helps him, you know, mentors him in a way others outside of pitching, and shows him that, you know, it is possible and you can get through it and you could still have a good, happy life. So take all the baseball shit aside, and then I'm rooting for the man. Forget baseball. It ain't that important.
Hey, I agree. I agree. But since we're already talking baseball, man, we got to talk. Let's talk economics, man. So,
can I just say one thing? God damn you, Matt! You got to bring up baseball 7 minutes into the show and get us on that.
Well, I mean, you know,
Matt's like, hey guys, oh wait, baseball news, and damn, Lamar took the
bite. But I will say this though. Speaking of baseball economics, man, so Padres, one of the highest payrolls, Dodgers, one of the highest payrolls, and they are absolutely, you know, basuda, trash, dookie, man, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this is how bad the Mets are. They're about to get swept by my Kansas City Royals. That ain't good. That's bad. All right, they're about to get swept.
I heard the Mets are trying to sell the stadium off now too because they can't afford that either.
No, but check this out though.
Because football is king, Matthew.
But check this out.
Football is king. A preseason game with no starters is more important than any baseball game going on the rest of the season, and we'll have better ratings.
Well, for the regular season, I
said rest of. If the Yankees aren't in the playoffs, shit don't matter.
But the other team in New York ain't doing so hot. So Max Scherzer traded. Justin Verlander traded. Their closer who took over for Diaz, who was out because he had the injury in the World Baseball Classic, Robertson, traded. Just about anybody of any worth of damn value on that team. Somehow they kept Lindor past the trade deadline. I don't know. I guess nobody really wanted his, underperforming. But check this out, man. How do you spend all this money? The product's been bad. You come off 101 wins last year, turn around this year, and literally just blow it up. Can't buy a championship. They tried, and it just didn't work out. It was just pitiful. I mean, what do y'all fellas think about just the Mets just literally like halfway in the season or 3/4 of the way in the season, but like before the trade deadline, I'm like, nope, get it out of here.
I give them credit. I give them credit for knowing they fucked up, and I give them credit for being able to sell it off. Now, they have a shit ton of dead money. It's gonna. It's pathetic. It shows that you can't buy a championship. It shows that I'm surprised they didn't try to get rid of Lindor.
No, I don't think nobody wanted him, bro. He's been awful. I mean,
they would have 200 in dead money. Nobody would take him for what they paid him. He's not worth it. Everyone they're paying is you're hoping that a guy could be what he once was. They're not investing in a future at all.
Yeah, he's been awful in the Mets uniform. That guy Lindor has been in conversation of AL MVP multiple occasions when he's with Cleveland. He gets to New York and all of a sudden just like he forgot how to play ball, bro. Like it's bad. Like, I'm like, this can't be the same dude.
Reminds me of Odell.
Yeah,
For real.
I mean,
Odell of baseball.
Man, it's. I just think it's laughable because they're top 2 in cap salary, and like you said, Nick, just by getting rid of Verlander and Scherzer, they're probably at least up to probably what 75 million, 80 million in dead money. Can't even use on nobody. It's just pretty much thrown right in the trash. You know, you see shit like that. That's bad economics, man. I think it's just bad economics.
I don't know if I'd call this breaking news, but 5 minutes before the show started, Bleacher Report sent out a thing. HBO making a documentary on Bishop Sycamore called BS High.
Yo,
I know how much fun we had with Bishop Sycamore last year, but I think that's fucking dope. That HBO's like, hell yeah, BS High, baby.
Yo, that's wow.
Sycamore.
I don't even need to watch this show. Telling me the title, I love it already.
That's wild, bro. But no, has
Rizzo, real quick, Rizzo with a likely concussion?
Okay, before you go any further, call me crazy. How do you get a concussion in baseball besides getting
watching all those good pitches go by?
That was good. That was good. Bravo.
And Matt, you better give me credit, Matt. I know you fucking laughed at that. My man let strikes go by and swings at cutters 2 feet in off the plate.
Hey, bravo. I can't hate on that.
A joke is a joke, Matt. I want my ha-ha funny Nick in the comments. I want 2 ha's and a funny Nick. I mean, you watch those 98 mile an hour right down the middle, man. Your head gonna get shaken. Shooken baby syndrome.
Because when you say concussion, I'm like, wait, he plays baseball unless he got plunked in the head.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Or like unless there's a collision, which is rare in baseball. It does happen, but it's not on a regular basis.
Not head to head though. It's like that's a rarity, hitting head to head or hitting your head on something sliding. That's all rare.
It doesn't say. It just has that title with a photo on it with the tweet I just saw. It doesn't have an article with more info yet. I'm sure Yankee pregame tonight will have more info, or Twitter. I'll keep an eye out. Matt, I know you will. If you see anything explaining how, let us know.
Yeah, I got to figure that out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I got to get a job with Taylor Swift. She gave out $55 million in bonuses. Bonuses.
She gave out what?
She gave out $55 million in bonuses.
Yeah.
Like the 55, there's like 50 tractor trailer drivers and bus drivers. She gave them all $100,000 each bonus. Dancers and all that other shit got, I don't know how many people, there's hundreds of people on that crew. So if you gave everyone $100,000, man.
Well, she also is generating a lot of money.
She said it made $1 billion. They said it made $1 billion.
She came to Kansas City about a month ago for 2 days, shut the city down. I'm like, literally, people were flying in, coming in, and she was out at Arrowhead Stadium, sold out both shows. Yeah. And I'm talking about people are paying like $10,000 to get access and stuff like that. So yeah, she got the bread.
She's the female equivalent of Michael Jackson, right?
Right now,
like girls are dying to see, like when Michael was Michael in the 80s, people were fainting just to see him. Like she's the female version of Michael Jackson right now. These girls are going ballistic to just see her. They're standing outside the stadium if they can't afford a ticket, listening to the concert live.
Yeah, it's the economics factor.
It's wild,
crazy. Well,
it just goes to show that white women have awful taste.
Speaking of,
I can make that joke.
Speaking of economics, Nick posted something in the group chat that I thought was very thought provoking, very conversation provoking. To
who?
Nick did the guy below you.
I got hacked, Mel. I got hacked.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
No,
that makes sense. Go ahead now.
So
I'm very used to that confused, clueless look on Mel's face. I knew exactly what he was thinking.
I'm looking like
he was like put a on the end of his name. Like,
here you go. What nigga?
Yeah, wow.
Go ahead.
But no, and you know, I don't want to paraphrase what you said. Kind of real quick for the audience, Nick. Kind of paraphrase on what you posted in the group.
So Bleacher Report Betting set out an alert that said the U.S. women's soccer team is no longer the favorite with betting odds. England is at like plus 175, and the U.S. I think is 375, 425. I forget the exact numbers, but the U.S. women's been favored for the last several years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So me being me and twisting in the emotional aspect of it, right, making fun of. They demanded more money. They don't generate more money. They demand more money. And this is what I do know what and how. Okay. Yeah, Matt, tell us. And then we'll come back to that. But when you demand more money that you don't generate and it has to get taken from someone else's business pool and given to you, and then all of a sudden the wheels fall off. To me, that's entitlement 101. You cry for something you didn't earn. And when you get it, it's like, all right, man, now we go cruise control. Mission accomplished. We're getting paid better now, even if we win or we don't win. So to me, it's an American issue, right? Like it's happening in our society. Cry to get what you want. And when you get it, man, pop that shit in cruise control. No reason to freaking accelerate anymore. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to explain all of that online. I know you were very quick to jump in about their success, and they have been very successful. You can't deny that. But there's a video that breaks it down and says the men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The women's World Cup only generates $600 million. That's a tenth. Mm-hmm. The women get a larger cut of that $600 million than the men get of the $6 billion, and that includes the men's World Cup winner. So the women are paid a higher percentage. Mm-hmm. Now, break down the business aspect of it, right? You can only pay out what you make. You can't say, give me $650 million, all the women's teams in the world, if you're only making $600 million, right? Mm-hmm. You have to generate it. It's not being generated for whatever reason, whether it's lack of advertising, viewership, people spending money, merchandise, all that stuff. The money's not there. The funding's not there. The advertisement's not there. It's a tenth.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. But so answer this for me. Are you saying as in the women shouldn't ask for more on what they're getting based off of their performance, or just as in the actual economics part of it, as in the generating part?
They make more on their performance, but it comes from the women's pool of money, which is a set percentage. That's like the NFL. All right, let's use NBA, for example. Ratings are piss poor for the NBA. That's like the NBA, a professional sport, going to the NFL and saying, hey, we want to pay these people some more money. You guys did better than we did. Throw us some money so we can give our people more money. When you're in your sport, you pay out. Look at the WNBA. The NBA is operating at a loss to keep this league afloat. Mm-hmm. If you don't generate the money, that's your problem. Find a way to do it. Don't go to other people with your hand out and saying, hey, pay us what we think we want instead of what we generate. It's a business. If my business is only making $1 million a year, I can't have a $2 million payroll. It'll fail, right? And no one's going to bail me out because I mismanaged my business.
Well, you'll be in debt for sure. But
then when payroll checks start bouncing, I'm out of business.
Yeah. But from my understanding on what the women of the national soccer team are saying, because we are successful, our performance, we should be getting money. Now, I agree with you. They're not generating the money, but I think we got to have a separation where it's not necessarily the player's fault that the product is it generating? Because the product of the content that they're putting on the field is just as good as the men's, if not better. Because I mean, look at this.
But it's irrelevant if you ask me. That's completely irrelevant. It's a different sport. It's a different sport with different television contracts, and it's. I know I know what you're trying to say, but in my opinion,
I wouldn't say it's irrelevant. My thing is, what I'm saying, Nick, is that when you don't generate the money because of the actual economics business part, because of the sponsorship and the advertising and the ticket sales, that's just people not supporting the product.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily the player's fault. Because I equate this to the WNBA. Because I actually watched WNBA. The product I think is good.
Great. There goes his credibility.
Is it on? Shut up. Is it on the same level
Open the window? Throw it out.
What I'm saying, is it on the same scale as the NBA? No, because their sport won't have the popularity as the NBA. But
correct.
What I'm saying is that the players are getting punished because factors that they can't control, as in, so NFL have marketing teams, and obviously we see that they're doing damn good. Their marketing team,
great marketing team,
is doing fantastic because they generate the TV money, they generate the sponsorships. I'm saying it's not fair to punish the women for things out of their factor that they can't control. There's other.
It's not punishing though. It's not punishing. You're using it as if they're being held down and being like what's the word I'm looking for? Discriminated against. You can only pay what you generate, and it shouldn't be up to a men's sport to cover you and make you feel better because, I'm going to say it. This is not breaking news. It's going to come off as insensitive, but I don't care. There's a reason women do not compete with men in sports. They're not as athletic. They're not as fast. They're not as strong. That's just biology fact 101, right? Now, there are a large portion of men, myself included, who find zero interest in watching a women's sport because it's lesser athleticism. I don't find interest in a 22 dribble fast break layup in the WNBA. I think the court should be smaller, more compact, and allow for more ability for athleticism. That's my opinion. But when you're looking at the sport as a whole, if a high school travel team, not even a national team, a local Dallas team, 15-year-old under team, can smoke your ass and blow you out, why do you deserve more money? You can't even beat high school kids. We're supposed to think that like your son.
I'm not gonna hold that against him. Do you really think those women really cared about playing or beating a 15 and under team?
And that's why I can't take them seriously. When you're a competitor, every time you step out on a field or a court,
everybody must get crushed.
Don't say they didn't try their best. They just aren't as athletic and weren't able to keep up with 15-year-old boys.
I mean,
I didn't see that. Now you gotta tell me what happened.
This was before the last World Cup. Dallas area, they were training down in Texas, and a Dallas area soccer club, 15U. Like I said, not national, not state, just a region, right? This is the hospital. I got to take this. Let me pop it back in.
Go ahead. No, wait. And I'm not going to discredit anything Nick says because
fuck Nick. Go ahead.
No. He made some points that are valid because you can't give the women more than what you're generating, which is economics. That's business 101. My thing is that the women are asking for more money to get paid because they are being successful. They are bringing championships. From my understanding, they're asking, hey, pay us based off our performance, not what we're generating. Because when advertisement dollars get fed out, TV contracts get agreed upon, the players have no control in none of that.
No. Well, okay. So I was sitting back listening to both of y'all speak. I agree with part of what Nick said. I wanted to wait for he got in here before I spoke, so I want him to hear too. But anyway, here's my thing. I go with what I heard Kelsey Plum said, because everybody's talking about the women wanting more money in WNBA, and what they asked for is a higher percentage, of what they getting. So, for instance, they sell jerseys. I think she said they don't get jersey sales. They don't get money off of that. And so so they sell certain things. They sell that the men get when they sell, they get percentage off of. They don't get percentage off of that.
Yeah,
she made a list, but I don't remember the list. I'm just saying. So my point is, I don't have a problem with that part because you should be able to negotiate a higher percentage. So if you generate $650,000 and you want a higher percentage of that $650,000, I have a problem with that. What I agree with Nick is that, and I said this before, if you are advocating for whatever women's sport, if you are advocating for more money, do not come with I need more money. Come with solutions. I say that at my job. Don't come with problems. Come with solutions.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, what's the solution to generate more capital if that's what you're looking for? Higher percentage is I think that's a different argument than more money. Because more money is saying that you here, and it's all you bringing is this right here, whatever that number is, and you saying you want higher than that, that's not even economically feasible.
Which I agree.
Now, more percentage is different because more percentage or higher percentage is saying that, look, we've been performing here at this standard and above that standard, and we think we deserve a more percentage of the pie. That's a different argument than more money. So I don't have a problem with a higher percentage. Now, the other thing is the women is always going to be up against some hurdles.
Yeah.
You know, one hurdle is you just gonna get men, no matter what it is, that's not going to support. And it's just like on the other side, where we talk about NFL. NFL just don't have men supporting; it has men and women supporting it.
Yeah.
And both of them combined helps produce that billions of dollars a day.
Yep.
Yeah, generate. Because we talked about this before. Who buy more stuff, men or women? Women usually buy more stuff, and women. Say for instance, if you go to the store, you see a hat you like, you're gonna buy a hat for you. But if your woman goes to the store, she say, "Oh, Lamar might like this hat." She don't get her hat. She don't get you a hat. She might get the girls some shirts or hats, whatever.
She's done it.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how they think. It's not. It's, you know what I'm saying. So you get them both involved, you're gonna generate more revenue. So on the other end, we talk about women's sports. You have to find a way to get men interested in it. And I said this before. I think when you look at the WNBA, watching the Aces play is here.
Yep.
Watching the rest of the league play is
down there. You're right.
And they need to bring that level up because I don't have to see you dunk. That's just not a big thing. I mean, it'd be sometimes I'd be like, you know what I'm saying, if you dunk, it's cool. But I watch the form. I watch Chelsea Gray when she be throwing on no-look passes. I could put her that's just as smooth as watching anybody in the NBA throw one. When I watch Kelsey Plum shoot, her form is just as good as anybody else's form. It's flawless form. You know what I'm saying? So the skill is there.
Yeah.
On that team.
Yeah.
Just to happen, they have all the skill players on that one team.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way to bring that level up.
Yeah.
Wherever it is. It's not like now going to Nick the biology thing. There's no way we can get around that. You can't change that. You know, so you have to work within the confines of what you have and find a way to bring in more eyes if you want to generate more money.
Yeah,
because revenue is a bigger issue to me. You know, percentage wise, we discuss that all day long. You can get a higher percentage based on your performance. Now going to the women's soccer team thing, I think that they have been performing at a higher level until this year. Now I think Nick said, if I'm not mistaken, they got the bag and more money now, and now they underperforming. Oh, is that what you're saying, Nick?
This World Cup, they are.
I mean, I'm breaking balls with it. I mean, they're still alive. They haven't been eliminated yet, and they could very well go on and win it. But they've been questioned for their efforts. Carrie Lloyd called them out, saying that the post that stopped the goal the other night against Portugal was the MVP of the game for American soccer. And the fact that they were jumping around and celebrating a tie to move on says, like, okay, wait a minute. Where are we, U.S. women's soccer? You were supposed to run this shit, and now you're celebrating ties as if you're the men, like
twice.
And the men, like, let's be real, the men would celebrate that moving on to the round of 16. Yeah. The women to get a tie and move on, like back your way in, is a little pathetic. And I love that Carrie Lloyd called them out on it.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad you brought that up because we discussed that on the late night show. Me and Matt did. Carly Lloyd I think she was 100% justified in her constructive criticism of the women's national team. When you won the last 2 World Cups, and it's a 4-year event. Every 4 years you see it. You won the last 2. You won, I think 4 total. I think going back from '99. So you put this expectation levels up here as fans of your product to, hey, we're expecting you to win because that's my expectations. So when you literally they perform, I don't even think they perform even close to the caliber of what they can produce.
Right.
All in the group stage. So they got a 3-0. They got a 3-0 win over Vietnam. They were supposed to smoke Vietnam.
Right.
But they left money on the table, as in they could.
So were we in the 70s, and we saw how that turned out.
The 60s and the 70s.
Yeah. All right, Mel, you lived through it, buddy. I read the history book.
So you had a lackluster performance in the win because your competition wasn't as good.
Right.
Then you had a better competition in Netherlands. You should have beat them. You tied.
Right.
Then you had Portugal, who's not on your same level. You tie with them, and you get through the knockout stage, and you didn't look good at all. So Carly Lloyd was 100% right in their criticism of that, and Alexi Lawless backed her up, and I backed her up on the podcast.
Well, you think I'm gonna say this because I won't necessarily say it's about them them getting money or not. It's more of a complacency thing. Because a lot of times, you see it in all sports when you get to a certain level and you achieve certain things, and you assume, we're gonna win this, and you get complacent, and you have lackluster performance. I think a lot of times, and this is not me defending anyone, but I think a lot of times when it comes to, especially when it comes to women's sports, we don't give them the same amount of criticism or the same type of criticism we do with men's sports. When it happens in men's sports, our criticism is different. When it comes to women, it's all about, well, y'all just women, or y'all not performing like I should do because of this or that, where it could just be the same thing with men athletes, complacency. You know what I'm saying? And I say that, and I try to use that logic with everything I do. I try to keep a balance and say, okay, am I being biased because of this? Or am I being biased because of that? And you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times with us as men, we do that. When it comes to women's sports, whatever it is, we become biased sometimes because we are as women. So we have a different, opinion about it, or we think we don't give them the same leeway we do men. Let me say that.
Okay, I feel you. And to kind of piggyback off that, I think. So let's take this with the expectation level. So obviously, we see a standard of how the women's soccer team has got our expectations to a certain level. Now, when it comes to the men's soccer team, every 4 years, we usually like, if y'all make it out the group stage, y'all won.
Right.
But that's because their play has, humanistically made us believe that's how far as they can go. If they get to a championship, you're like, oh shit, y'all overachieved.
Right.
So it's just situations like that where you see the women who perform on such a level, on a higher level in their realm,
right?
And that automatically has us put those expectations on them to win every 4 years.
Right.
So, but to correlate it to the money thing, I just want them to get the fair equal pay based off just their performance.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And because we got to remember that, like we said, like for instance, for the NFL, every year NFL is going to always come in the green. Why? Yeah. Because they know how to market their content. They know how to advertise it. They know how to get money from sponsorships.
Right.
And because sponsors are always going to, they'll throw money to the NFL no matter what, because they know people are going to watch the product, even if the product is poor. We'll still go watch football because we love football.
Right.
And we may gripe and complain that, oh man, the content of it is so bad, the play is bad. but it's the NFL. You'll still watch it because you know how to market their product. And that has nothing to do with the actual players.
Yeah, I agree. I guess too, because like you think about performance. Because I hear what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out how do you. So, for instance, okay, if say the U.S. women just ran through everybody and they go ahead and win the World Cup, right? Mm-hmm. So we agree that's hot. That's great performance.
Yeah.
But if you still haven't brought in more money, how do I pay you more if I don't have more to pay you?
Which I understand.
So I guess my thing is, if I'm them,
I didn't realize I wasn't back in. I'm sorry. Oh. I'm sitting here like talking sometimes.
If I'm them, I think you go percentage wise. I think that's the better way to look at it, because if it generates more,
a higher percentage of what they generate.
That's it. I think that's a better deal. And I'll tell you why.
Like if I got a McDonald's and a Burger King on each corner, and McDonald's makes this amount of money, but Burger King only makes this amount of money, Burger King can't call McDonald's and be like, "Oh, you got to send us over some of the money that you made this week because we didn't make enough."
And I agree with that, Nick. But I'm saying if I'm the female athlete, I think negotiating a higher negotiating a higher percentage is a better deal than negotiating more money, because you have to think, because you never generate no more money, right? You can't get any more.
Sense.
Yes,
that's not victim mentality. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. women approached it with a victim mentality of, we're not getting paid as much as you're not making as much as they make.
Right.
You can say the men's team isn't successful. You're right. But you know what? A lot more people watch that tournament. A lot more people care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's the XFL is football. The NFL is football. The XFL talent isn't as good as the NFL talent in terms of athleticism, execution, highlight plays, speed, power. It's a different level.
I agree.
But you can win XFL every single year. No one's saying you deserve a share of the NFL's money. That's what the women are doing. They're not as fast, they're not as strong, they're not as athletic, and they're like, "Hey, we want what they're getting," and that's American problem, right? That's just America with the victim mentality bullshit that we cater to, and we appease people and want to shut them up.
This is what the soccer women need to do. The national team, they gotta. Obviously, they can't control the sponsorship, advertising dollars, and TV deals that get negotiated. They need to find a marketing team that can make sure that, hey, market our product right, that can get people to interest that, and then you can argue about getting more money.
Right.
Because it all breaks down to point blank period. Can you market your product to people?
Who do you market to?
Well, the thing is, soccer is a worldwide sport, so you can market it to the whole world.
Okay.
It's to getting the sponsorships to put the money into it. The advertising.
Okay, let me ask you. Go ahead.
But you pay for what you get. You know why the Super Bowl advertisements cost so goddamn much? Because they know all the eyes are going to be on it.
Yeah, I agree.
And part of the issue in America right now, you're in New Zealand. You're not getting top dollar for a game at 3:00 in the morning.
Oof.
Because no one gives a shit to watch it at 3:00 in the morning.
Bro, that 2:00 game was rough for me, and I'm a night owl.
You got a whole goddamn show around your lifestyle.
That shit was rough.
I forgot about it.
And to your point, Nick, this is how rough it was. Because I'm a night owl, so does Mel. I'm up at
2:00.
But the fact of the matter is that when you play lackluster,
coming back from burying a body.
That's how I like to relax watching football. I like to relax watching football.
So when
you have an alibi? Yes, I was watching women's soccer all night, officer. Bullshit.
Hey, don't use that as an excuse, Mel. They know they're gonna lock you up. They're like, you weren't watching that shit. No, you weren't.
I use women's soccer to masturbate.
All right, I think Hey, at least make it the Brazilian team.
Hey, wait, you want to make money, U.S. women's soccer? Give me some photo. Give me an OnlyFans of Alex Morgan, and you will make $6 billion, just like the men's World Cup does. Hey, you give me Alex Morgan.
That's a female.
Man, fuck rent. I'll live on
that's
the street.
That's the one to be doing all them little shorts with the on YouTube with the ass.
I don't know.
I don't remember her face. I just remember her ass though.
Hey, but you know what? You know what sucks, and that's a factor I think we haven't discussed yet.
What's that?
I know the women don't like it, but sometimes sex sells. It do. And
sometimes.
Okay, well, in your case, all the time.
All the time.
But what I'm saying,
Caitlyn Jenner on the cover or something ain't generating sales. So I'm down, Mel.
Somebody
Draw your line in
liking
the sand somewhere.
Somebody
Draw your line in
it.
the sand somewhere, Mel.
Hey, man, there's a market for everything, bro.
Hell yeah, there's a market for everything.
It might not sell as much, but
there's a market for it.
but like for real though, but like I know the women demographic not gonna like it. Oh man, we don't want to see women all being all sexized.
That's bullshit, man. I'm gonna tell you why it's bullshit.
What's up?
They use it when they need to use it.
You
know what I'm saying? And then when you don't want, we don't want to sell sex, but you like, I'm telling you, how I know about Alex Morgan.
Talk to him.
I was on YouTube and I'm seeing all these YouTube shorts, and all you showing is her ass. I'm like, who the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking through my phone. I'm like, who the hell is this? I get on YouTube again. I see another short. It's her on there. I'm like, who the hell? And they ain't showing her playing soccer. I mean, she playing soccer, but all they showing is zooming on her ass. It's getting, you looking down at the views. All these views she getting. So that's bullshit. I mean, I'm thinking like this. If you got a tool, use it.
Hey.
I ain't mad at you.
Hey, I can't even argue anything that you said, but now go ahead.
Let's add to that though. Ronaldo's capitalized on his physique off the field.
Yes.
So
yeah.
There's no double standard. You've seen many magazine covers with Ronaldo worldwide and shirtless and commercials and shit.
True. That's true too.
It's just not here as much in America. But I do want to say that while we're on the soccer, most of us ever talk soccer, by the way.
Right. I am.
That dog Messi. He's a motherfucking dog.
I'm glad
I'll watch Florida and Miami, Coastal, whatever the fuck their team name is. I don't care.
Come on, enter Miami.
And I look forward to the highlight because I know it's going to be some soccer shit that I don't see other human beings do. And he scored that goal off his chest last night. Woo, that was filthy.
And that's one thing that I think is missing from the women's sport from the men's, because
they're not scoring balls off their chest.
Well, no. Well, I'm not touching.
Is that what you saying? No. I mean, I'm trying to get clarity. Help me out.
I ain't falling for that. No, what I'm saying is you see how Messi is generating revenue for MLS as a whole, just off of him coming to America to play soccer.
Right.
I want to watch. I've never said that about soccer in America.
Right.
I supported Tim Howard, the U.S. soccer goal for years, because I played AAU basketball with him, which I think I've told you guys before. So I knew Tim Howard. I was buddies with him. We played ball together on the same team for 2 years. So I watched because I had a connection with him. I really didn't care. Like in the 90s, Tony Meola was trying to be a Jets kicker, so I cared about that, right? Like the soccer goalie in the 90s.
But it speaks to Nick. It speaks to connection. It speaks to something that you can relate
to.
It
right there. That's it right there.
Bringing a product that people care about, that people are interested in, and people want to take time out of their day to either support with their time, their money, or their interest.
But that goes back to the women thing.
I'm trying to find a way to say it without coming off like a complete asshole.
But here's the thing, though, Nick. It's not. It's true. You got to find a way to make that connection with a different demographic. So you have to sometimes bring that element of sex in. I'm not saying you should be out there playing soccer in your lingerie or nothing like that.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I mean, neither would I.
They got a football league. They got a football league for women like that people watch.
Hey,
but I'm saying,
football league was the shit, dog. I don't care what nobody say.
Oh yeah, I used to watch it. It actually wasn't bad, competitive wise. Once you get past looking at all the ass in your face, I was like,
yeah, it wasn't
bad. It's football going on. Oh yeah,
it wasn't bad.
No, but my thing is like, they have to find a good balance. How to how to bring in that element to draw men in, and to bring in another element that you make connection with the young women who might want to come through the ranks and play soccer. Somewhere you got to find that middle ground. You know, you got to, and the women that say, "Well, how did you have with men's football?" Okay, let me tell you this, and there's no homo. I just say that before I get out there.
Which means it's going to be really big time homo.
It's not gonna be the white level homo. I mean, it's not gonna be the Dwight Howard homo level, but you know what I'm saying.
Are we going Jared Collins level? What level we going?
It's in between it's like between Derek Collins and Dwight Howard. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a pussy chaser.
That's a big 7-foot sandwich for you to be in between. No? You know what? I don't even need to comment the opening and analogy.
Don't men wear tight pants and we're playing football? Who's that appealing to? I mean, unless you a man that likes other men, it's mostly appealing to women. What does women say they watch football?
Quarterback exchange.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. When women are watching football, they always make that connection. Oh, they got some tight pants. Oh, he has a nice ass. They say that kind of stuff when they watching football.
They do.
So it's not about making a connection with women on a sexual level. So you can't say it. You can't give a double standard when you're a woman saying, "Oh, we can't use our sexuality. We want to just be out here known for our skills." Okay, that appeals to certain demographics. But if you want money, you want the big money appeal to revenue. All.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. And that's the world we live in. That's the society we live in.
Yes. I can't argue that, because I think that's where the women will always Michael Sandler. I think the women of the soccer team gotta understand that part of the dynamic. They gotta understand the part where, yes, you're successful skill wise, you guys are good, but you that only gets you to a certain point. It only gets you to a certain level. It only generates a certain amount of money. Like Nick said, 600 million compared to 6 billion. It's only a certain amount of money that you're going to be able to generate, because it's almost like you see it in every sport. Like talent can get you so far, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the championship, because the better constructed team that plays as a team more times than not is going to win. And then they don't have to necessarily be the most athletic gifted team. They have to be the most cohesive team that wins that championship. It's to correlate it to the women's soccer team. Yes, you got the product, you got the success. We've seen it, but you got to find a way to move the money marker over by finding a way to grab, like we're saying, connect with just the soccer fans. Right. You know, it takes more than that, and that's the generating money part that I think gets missed by the women's soccer national team, is because you can't generate the money. You just don't. And no matter how successful you are, and more times than not, they're going to continue having success because they built a program that's going to have them in the long run as one of the better teams in the world. They're the number one rated team in the world. But if you can't grab the money from the sponsorships, because you can't make people, sponsor you. You can't make them. They have to feel that, hey, your content is worth spending money on, because people are going to see it. People are going to buy tickets to go to it. Right. Not everybody's going to be running and jumping to go to New Zealand or Australia right now and fly out of the States, spend all that type of money to do that. Then you talking about hotel, eating and all that, spend all that money on that. And for what? You don't generate the popularity like that. They just don't. They got to figure that out. And you just gotta, change gears on that, get a better marketing team that can market your product. It is what it is. People, especially in NFL, they're going to always have sponsorships, because they know that for a fact, even if the content isn't good, they're still going to watch it. Still going to watch it. That's just what it is. So let's switch gears to the American football, not the world football. Right. I've been seeing some rumors in the NFL over this Jonathan Taylor situation, which is nuts. Now they're saying possible trade teams that he can go to, and of course they brought up the Chiefs, and I'm like, come on, man, let's not do this again. It's like, first of all, we got to have the conversation of Jim Irsay and Jonathan Taylor side to begin with. Jonathan Taylor, fire your agent. No, for real.
You ain't lying.
You can't have, you as an agent cannot go in a Twitter beef with the person that signs the checks, and you got to negotiate with that guy on how much the check you want to give to your client. That's stupid. The moment that I saw, if I'm Jonathan Taylor, the moment I see my agent on a Twitter beef with the owner who I play for, who signs over the checks, I'm firing you. What are you doing? I am in my last year of my rookie contract.
Right.
It's already hard to get money as a running back. It's already hard. Now you just made it even 10 times harder by being an idiot arguing with the owner, the guy that signs the checks.
Not as hard as Mel watching women's soccer, though.
He had that look on his face. I knew he had something to say.
I was waiting. I let it go earlier, but I'm like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker sooner or later.
But I mean, like, to me, that's such a buffoon, behavior as an agent. Like, why? You do know as an agent, you get paid off a percentage of what Jonathan Taylor makes. So if you arguing with the owner who signs over that check,
you mess up your money too.
You messing up your money too.
I disagree. Here's why. The agent's job is to do what the player tells him to.
Yes.
Go get me that money, or now the agenda, get me the fuck out of here. Make it so bad to the point where they have to move me. And I don't care what they get in return. Get me the fuck out of here. And the court of public opinion factors. It factors in. Culture of business, right? NFL is a business. Now the agent's job is, I got to get my player out of here. My player wants out of here. If I got to fight with the owner publicly to the point where the league steps in privately and says, listen, just move the guy. Get him out of here. Let's end this. Let's go forward. Which I'm sure those conversations take place off the record, right?
Right.
I don't know if the Goodell makes the call or one of the cronies do, but they'll say, listen, we need this to end. Let's rectify this and move forward. If you don't want to pay him, move him. So now you make it ugly and you force somebody's hand, almost like a relationship, right? You don't want to break up with someone, you do the dumbest shit possible to get them to break up with you. You just live your life like I do. And then I don't want to deal with this motherfucker no more.
I'll say this. The moment that Jonathan Taylor put in the trade request, Irsay immediately shut it down. He's like, I'm not trading you. But
that's when now you're forcing Taylor in his agent's hand, and you're seeing them pour gas on the fire, right?
Well, I put it like this. Taylor wants more money at the running back position, just like any other running back that feels they're deserving. And, we talked about that conversation, so we're not going to rehash that. The fact of the matter is that when you are a running back right now, and I think Jonathan Taylor is a good running back, the problem is he only played 11 games last year due to injury. So that kind of starts killing your leverage right there. Now, he asked for the trade request. The team can say, oh, well, like Austin Eckler. He said, I want more money. I was like, nah, we can't give you more money. He's like, all right, well, trade me. And so they was like, all right, go seek a trade. But we want this back in compensation. And it's easily the owner can say, well, I want this, and this in compensation for you.
Right.
And it's set at such a high rate of compensation that no team is going to pull the trigger on that, because one, it's a crazy amount of compensation, and two, you're a running back. So we're damn sure going to pay that type of compensation for a running back. So then he has to go back to his team with his tail tucked in between his legs and kind of has to just take what he can get from the team. Same thing with Barkley. Saquon Barkley caved in and took what he can get. He barely got a little bit more than what they was originally offering on the 1 year tender. franchise tag. So
that's ridiculous.
It's but in this situation with Jonathan Taylor, his agent is not doing him any favors, I don't think, in my opinion, because he's just you can't argue with the guy that signs the checks. I just think that's silly. I think it's asinine.
But flip it the other way.
All right.
Taylor signs the agent's checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing what his client's telling him to do. He's saying, you fight it publicly. You get me the fuck out of here. You're not doing that on behalf of your client without the thumbs up, the nod, the go ahead, the green light, right? You're doing what your client tells you to do. If he says, go fight a public battle on my behalf, make this so dirty that they have to move me, that's what they'll do. He requested the trade. It got denied. You think he's stopping there? I think he's going to be upset because he's going to find out real quick. As great of a talent as he is, he ain't going to get $14 million nowhere else. You want a $14 million there, he's going to come get humbled real quick.
Well, quite honestly, Nick, I think he's stuck. I think he's stuck in Indianapolis because Irsay said he's not trading him. So it's like, you can't force me to trade you when you're still under contract. You can't make me do nothing with you. You can either play or sit. And if you sit, you don't get paid. So I mean, it's one of those situations where he's not in a winning situation for himself. If you ask me, it's just not a situation that he can win. Matter of fact, for any running back, I don't think Saquon won. For anybody that think that Saquon won, I would like to hear why you think he won, because
nobody can say he did. Saquon can't even say he won.
No. Right. There's no way he can say he won.
And not just the money aspect of it. The fact that you didn't put in, you can't re-tag me again next year. Giants are going to do the same shit next year.
Oh, that was the biggest thing that I thought.
Fuck the 900,000. If you're going to take only 900,000 more than the tag, you have your agent write into the contract, cannot be tagged in 2024. And then it's a win because now you're on the open market and you say to the Giants, you want to lowball me now? That's okay.
Yeah.
But we're done after this year.
I feel you on that.
He didn't do that.
I think so. Yeah, he didn't win. Because if you ask me, all he did was just prolong the same problem for a year. That's all he did.
Mm-hmm.
He took a problem that he was dealing with right now, put a pause on it, and says he's going to deal with the same shit next year. He's going to be stuck in the same problem next year when you don't have that leverage to say you can't tag me again. Because now the Giants can go back next year, the same time next year, and say, hey, Saquon, yeah, man, we, based off of last year, we don't care to tag you again. No, literally.
Like, yeah, you're right, though.
Stuck in the same boat next year. So he didn't win. He didn't move the needle for the running back position, which I need to say this. Running backs, I love y'all. I think y'all guys are still important to the league. Have your Zoom calls all you want, but it don't matter. Have that energy at the CBA negotiations, and guess what? You can't negotiate till 2030 for another CBA.
Yeah, but
I don't want to hear this every summer about running backs crying about the running back market.
I'm sorry, bro. I think it's like this. When trends happen, I say this all the time, you have to get on board on the trends and see where they are, see where the league's going, and figure out where you fit in on that. Trying to fight against it is just fighting against the inevitable. It's coming. It's coming. You know you can do about it. Because every sport evolves. Every sport. Except for baseball. But every sport evolves. You know what I'm saying? And we saw the elimination of the fullback.
Mm-hmm.
We saw how the tight end evolved. I mean, we could go down the line to see how different positions in football, the quarterback position evolved.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a running quarterback now, nobody wants you.
Yeah, you kind of dead in the water.
Yeah. Tom Brady is gone now. You know what I'm saying? Those type of quarterbacks is gone. It evolves. Now it's time for the running back to evolve. And trying to fight it is just as a futile fight. You fighting a stupid fight. So what you need to do is figure out, okay, where I fit in on this tidal wave and ride this wave on out. You know, so what you should have had on that Zoom call is like, hey fellas, how can we get on this boat and ride it, and then help for the other people that's coming behind us and pull it up and teach them how to get on this boat, on this wave and ride it. That's what this Zoom call should have been about. Crying about this is stupid and futile.
Yeah, it is. And the person
He's
that
like
should
a narc. He was like a narc. He's like a narc. I'm gonna get in on this, hear what you guys want, and then just not care. Like, I even wasted time. Like, it was pathetic.
Right.
It was
why change perfection.
What should have been said in that Zoom call is Christian McCaffrey should have popped in on that Zoom call and said, "Hey, that motherfuckers got to be like me."
What, white?
No.
How we got paid. I kid, of course. For everyone watching this I.O.W. Sports Hour, Nick sometimes speaks without thinking. We apologize.
But
95% of the time.
And what I mean by that is that running backs got to get under the business thinking and the business matter of the fact and say, hey, this is what teams are looking for at the running back position. They'll pay you if you're doing this, X that. If you're a pass catcher, an excellent pass catcher like Christian McCaffrey, and you're still a valuable runner like Christian McCaffrey, that's where the money goes. He's at the top of the running back market at $16 million because he's not just an in between the tackles type of runner or the zone runner. He's a threat in both aspects of the offense, in running and catching.
And he plays quarterback.
If need be.
Right. If need be.
So you guys as running backs, you got to evolve your position. You know,
that's it, man.
Now, if Saquon was an excellent route runner and pass catcher like Christian McCaffrey, I would rock with him all day on that argument and say, yo, bro, you got robbed. So Bijan Robinson, who's a rookie, he's going to be okay in the league because he has a game that is tailored like Christian McCaffrey, where I don't know if y'all seen this.
I've seen it.
Bijan Robinson's route running as a running back is pristine. It's ridiculous. It's good. It's amazing. He's amazing. He's going to be, this running back market talk won't affect him at all.
Same with Gibbs. Gibbs' route running is pristine.
Yeah.
He's like a receiver.
I got an idea for the running backs.
What's that?
I mean, it worked so well for Colin Kaepernick. They should just take a knee the first handoff of every game to send a message. I say it kind of tongue in cheek, but if every running back takes a fucking knee the first handoff they get, I mean, you're going to cause some shit in the locker room, but if you want to unite, send a message, right? Opening day, all eyes on. Every running back, first handoff, takes a knee.
Real quick.
You were not here to end of that.
Yeah. Real quick. I got a quick audio from Dominique Foxworth. He says he has a perfect solution to end the issue for running backs. Let's take a listen.
All right.
Have a perfect solution for the issue with running backs. So for those who don't know, it's been ongoing for several years now, probably 10 plus years. The game moves away from running backs being as important. It's easier to replace running backs. They get wear and tear. So what ends up happening is running backs don't get big contracts. It's in the news a lot now because of Saquon, Josh Jacobs. We saw it with Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, which their value is not fully reached or paid because of the market for running backs. You can see that the salaries have climbed for every position in all of football, except for running backs. They're moving at a slower pace. And I think even the franchise number might be lower.
It's gone down since 2015.
Which is absurd considering the way the cap has grown. So how do you solve this problem, you ask? You didn't ask that, but I know you were thinking it.
I am.
All right. So there's a pool of money that I don't think many people know about called the performance-based pay pool.
I had never heard of this until 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, so performance-based pay pool is a lump sum of money that the league has set aside to compensate players who have outperformed their contract. And what tends to happen is it's a player who's a late round draft pick or something. It's a bunch of players who are late round draft picks who ends up playing a lot of downs and they end up getting big checks. I was that guy when I played for the Broncos. I was a third round pick, a rookie. I ended up playing so much that my performance-based pay was higher than my actual salary. So I got one check that was higher than the whole salary I had all year. So obviously, since I benefited from it and lots of players like that deserve to benefit from it, my argument is not that we should take that away from them, but that pool is $336 million.
That's crazy.
In 2019, it was $230 million. It's continuing to grow. I think that they should set aside a portion of it that is designated for running backs or at least there should be some benchmarks that you have to reach over the course of a couple of years, maybe even 3 years. If you meet these performance benchmarks and these playtime benchmarks, then you unlock this performance-based pay bonus that is only payable to running backs who've reached these benchmarks. I think I honestly.
All right. So what y'all feel about that? Interesting take.
I got a good take. When the fuck did Cat Williams change his name to Dominique Foxworth? I was waiting for in the history of running backdom.
I can't.
I swear to God, with the little pitches in his voice, I thought it was like Cat Williams.
Pimp down.
In the history of handoffs, it's interesting. It's not obviously spoken about a lot, and they don't want the information is not out there. The checks values aren't out there, so it's one of like those hidden society type of things, right?
Right.
But people want their guarantee more than they want what if, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents.
All right, I don't have a problem with it, man. If it works out, I think it don't solve the total issue. It helps the top 1%. It's not gonna help all the running back. It's not gonna move the running back salary as in total up. It just helps the people that's in a very top echelon of running backs. So if that's what you're looking to do, help the top echelon of running back, yeah, do that. But if you're looking to move the position as running backs as a whole, that doesn't do it.
Yeah,
that's just another way of segregating the
elite
ones from the mid-level ones.
Yeah, because as he was saying that, I'm like, damn, that for most teams like a Josh Jacobs or Saquon and the Jonathan Taylors and some of the running backs he was naming, they're still going to get the bulk of the carries.
Mm-hmm.
Still going to get the bulk of the playing time. So, like, for me, how does this help Isaiah Pacheco, who's a 7th rounder?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's still part of a rotation.
And he did help. He helped with some wins of that team.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Lamar brought up the Chiefs before I brought up the Jets. So
I
bring my team up all the time. Like, there we go. He broke the glass ceiling. I'm just for the record, I'm checking out of the conversation because Mel said the word segregation, and I know I can't speak on a topic after that gets brought up. So God bless everyone. Good night. Live from New York.
But I mean, like, how does that help Isaiah Pacheco, who's part of the rotation, and he may not get the bulk of the carries? He may not get the bulk of the playing time.
So how can he reach a performance bonus if he's not getting the bulk?
That's what I'm saying. How can he reach those?
Or not cut you off. Or what about running back by committee teams? Who do you say hitting this benchmark if we're splitting the carries up by everybody? And what is that benchmark? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so many different issues.
Nuances. It's too many
and nuances and stuff like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it's written. I guess I have to see all that information first before I can really give an assessment of it. But it just sounds like it's a lot of issues that arise with that. Because one running back can say, well, I hit this certain benchmark. And then the other one on the same team can be, say he won't carry away. But he still might be more valuable than the other cornerback. I'll give you an example. Jamal Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Williams broke Barry Sanders' record. Right?
Most TDs in the season.
Most TDs in the season. He broke the record. But are we really gonna say that Jamal Williams is a better running back than Barry Sanders? No. He happened to be in the right situation, the right time. Should he be paid as a top running back? No. He just happened to be in the right situation at the right time. So how do you separate that type of scenario from other running backs?
Yeah, and that's what trips me with Dom's solution, because to your point, Jamal Williams probably didn't even have the most carries last year. I'm pretty sure DeAndre Swift got a good bulk of the carries.
No, he had the most because I think he had like 200 something carries.
Okay,
but that's because Swift was hurt. Yeah, it was Swift. Yeah, was hurt and missed some time.
Yes, okay, so bad example, but but even look at Green Bay situation. They paid Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
but AJ Dillon is just as important to that offense,
right,
as Aaron Jones is.
Oh yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he's going to get some carries too. So, it's just weird, how like you said, because it's always a case by case scenario by teams that deal with the running back position in all different types of ways. So it's like that to me. Dom's, I like the idea of it, but it's still separating your elite guys who's going to get.
It goes into this other point too, though, Lamar, because you look at how I'm bringing up the Lions too, but bring up how Brad Holmes gonna use Jamal, how he gonna use Gibbs, right?
Yeah,
he gonna use him as a weapon, so he's not gonna necessarily get in the backfield, get a handoff all the time. He might get swing passes, he might line up wide, So say
effect.
Yeah, right. So say he's effective at that, scores a few touchdowns, but he's helping that offense move forward. Can you say because he didn't hit a certain benchmark, he's less valuable than Montgomery is?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
Yeah.
You can't. It's just the way the offense is ran.
Yeah.
So I just think
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Value in football and to a team is in the eye of the beholder.
There you go. That's true.
You might value the guard more that you run behind. Use the Seattle Seahawks as an example. Sean Alexander, the greatest running back of all time.
He ran behind Hutch like crazy.
Ran behind Hutch and another dude, Walter Jones.
Yeah.
Right. You could walk in from the 4-yard line, just running to the left, running to the left, running to the left.
Right.
I'm making a joke, but if you watch that year, every fucking short run was to the left and successful.
Right.
So it's the value of Hutch and Jones outweighed the value of Sean because any running back could have got in behind that. He was just the one receiving the carries.
Right.
So you got to look at it in different ways, and it's hard to quantify that. And I think that's the issue. And when you're looking at running backs carries going down from where number one running backs carries were in the 90s, 80s, early 2000s to where they are now, the touches are going down.
Right.
Why is the salary going up?
Fact.
You're doing less. You're on the field less.
Yep.
Be a unicorn. You want to get paid? Be a unicorn. Because
that's it.
I've said it before. I don't know if I said it on this show. You guys, I've said it on the Jet Show. Running back rooms are now like bullpens. You have specialists. You have different guys who do different things. You got your physical back. You got your pass catching back. You got your pass protecting back. You got your run between the tackle guy. You got a guy to run outside. You have specialists now. You use wide receivers in the backfield for crying out loud, like Debo. Ted Ginn, Cordell Patterson. Guys do sweeps, ends around. You find other ways to do it because you do not want to put $20 million into the guy with that workload and he gets injured. You would rather spread that money around throughout the room. Now, $10 million a year and crying? I don't care about you. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your thoughts. What you should be saying is the running back rooms in general deserve more money because we're doing this by committee. You're just looking out for 12 guys, the RB1s. Why don't you look out for the entire running back committee and say, and do more for all running backs as a whole and say, we got 3-4 guys now getting carries and get used to look at the Jets. It would be 26 carries, Curtis Martin, 2 kneel downs by Chad Pennington, 1 short run by fullback Richie Anderson. That was the game. You were getting 95% of the carries as a running back. Jerome Bettis was getting the majority of the carries. I can go on and on with guys who were the 90 percentile of their team's carries on a Sunday, week after week after week. Now you look, and it's Zeke Elliott, 8 carries. Marcus Pollard, 13 carries. Dak, 6 carries. You're not doing the load that running backs before you did. How the fuck do you want more?
Add this to
it. Always, it comes back in sports.
Add this to it, Nick.
Play. Fuck your feelings and just fucking play.
And how we said the quarterback position evolved and got to be more mobile. Quarterbacks are taking carries away too. Your Josh Allen, your
Jalen Hurts, for example.
Jalen Hurts
is getting every 3rd and 2, every 4th and 1. You're 100% right.
You're Ryan Tannehill to an extent. You're Dak Prescott.
Who, sir?
No, Ryan Tannehill gets carries. He runs RPO. Any team that runs,
go by the name that Mel calls him, Whitey McWhiterton.
Ryan Tannehill.
You better not mention Kirk Cousins, sir.
No,
he don't run.
No,
he don't run.
No, trust me.
The only place he runs is the church, brother.
Lamar Jackson. Now you got CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Now you got Bryce Young. Now you got more quarterbacks. Caleb Williams coming in the league next year. You're going to have more and more mobile quarterbacks coming in, taking your carries away, and that makes your usage rate go down. So to Nick's point, 100%, it can't be just about you as that player. I get it. Now, if they want to pay you by team because you are that important to that team, so be it. But if they're not trying to, based on the market, you can't fight it. That's just what the market is.
Right.
So
look at what RB2s do when RB1s go down.
Oh, man.
And that is where Cook was out last year. Madison performed well.
Did well. Yeah.
Swift was out. Jamal Williams performed well.
Yeah.
Barkley has missed some games. Matt, give me the names, but a couple other running backs came in.
Matt Breida was RB2.
Yeah, guys will spot start.
Yeah,
for the Giants throughout the last couple of years when Barkley was out and had some quality games.
No, Daniel Jones. Hey, funny, he takes carries away from Saquon. Daniel Jones takes carries away from Saquon.
The RPO does that, right? The RPO does that. If you're going to single out the running back, we're going to keep it. And Daniel Jones shown he can almost take it the distance. Sorry.
No, I'd have been disappointed if you didn't take that one.
The grass trip to me is the same as the butt fumble. The grass trip is on par with the butt fumble. They were just plays that should have never happened in an NFL game, man. You don't expect that when you see that quality of athlete. But welcome to New York football, baby. The last couple of years has not been good. But let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 5:30. Fuck your feelings on what you think about the teams playing. Football's back tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah,
we survived the offseason. We made it. We have football on every single week until Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So
we made it.
We made it. We were in the deep end without a raft or a float or swimmies, and we're back in the shallow end, standing up, cheers and glasses of water.
Yeah, but I was able to entertain myself with WNBA, World Cup, baseball, so I'm good.
So, well, as we were saying before we got derailed by that fucking bullshit.
I was gonna say the same thing. So,
shut up, y'all.
We know Mel entertained himself with women's soccer. He made that clear earlier in the show. That's why his shirt's white and sticky.
I mean,
he's watching the Brazilian team.
Yes.
I get it.
I watched the WNBA. I watched some of the USFL when it was on.
I couldn't get into USFL this year.
I watch. Here's the thing, though. I look at it as, all right, who gonna get familiar with those players and see which one's coming to the NFL? Because you see a lot of them starting transferring to the NFL.
Yeah,
and it kind of helps my NFL, my football Jones a little bit. I can kind of watch it, kind of, you know what I'm saying.
1968. What is this comment, Matt? What is 1968 to you, Matt? Is that the last fucking time baseball was watchable and interesting?
Well, no, 1998 was.
Before they ruined it. Oh, we got guys hitting 500-foot home runs. We got Yankees winning 114 games. Let's ruin this shit.
Test them all. No, anyway,
fucking Sammy Sosa turned into an old white woman.
He didn't say a white guy. He said a white woman.
Have you seen him? He looked like an old white. He looked like an old white nun.
He's like, I do declare.
Tell me I'm wrong. I won't say it again. There's a picture of him standing outside someplace with like his hands crossed on his chest, like he was about to do communion.
You should know by now when you're wrong. We will let you know. We said nothing. So, but no. Speaking of running backs, anyway, we will be doing a pick'em league this year in I.O.W. We get that set up. So look for that. I'm gonna send out the details in the short sometime by the weekend, so y'all pay attention for that. And I think I might get Nick to head up an I.O.W. football fantasy league too. So speaking of fantasy, as we were talking about running backs, Nick, go ahead real quick, run through your top running back fantasy wise, and then we'll do the quarterbacks as well. So go ahead, big dog.
I know this fantasy won't be as good as Mel's with watching the women's soccer, but I'll try my best to entertain for a few minutes.
Nah, that's a losing effort, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna zip through this one pretty quick because there's other things to talk, and so I'm gonna do them in groups of 5. I'll do the top 20 running backs. Aaron Jones, I'd have him higher if we knew what the quarterback situation was going to be like, but you're probably going to see a lot of Jones might be a guy who you take later as a RB2, like a late RB2 in a 12-man league, who ends up paying off. But I can't count on that right now, me personally, not knowing the quarterback situation and not knowing that they don't have Rodgers anymore. So
here's my only rebuttal to that. Because we don't know what we have at quarterback, I think you get more carries out of your running back position because you don't know what you have at quarterback. And you will lean more in your running game to get you in the flow of the game and then kind of loosen up Jordan. Yeah. So that'd probably be my only rebuttal. But I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah. That's me, my liking. Like, there's too many question marks around the offense, and I want touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know how many you're getting. You're not getting down maybe to the 5 as often as you have in the past, right?
Facts.
Right. So it's a question mark. Some might have them higher, some might have them lower, some might have more I have them, but that's just me and my take on it.
I got you.
19, I got a guy that I really like. I think a lot of people sleep on this guy. If you can get this guy as a late RB2 or an early RB3, I think he's got a steal. Dameon Pierce.
Oh, yes.
I think Dameon Pierce had some monster games last year.
Yes.
Now that you got that offense evolving a little bit, you got a young quarterback. I mean, he did well with Davis Mills last year in a couple of games. So Pierce is definitely a guy. If you can get as a late 2 or a 3, I think you got to be happy with your overall running back situation. I'm going to switch this up a little bit after I'm looking at it. 17, I'm going to go with 18. I'm sorry. Miles Sanders down in Carolina. I know they got a good offensive line. I know they're going to commit to the run a little bit. So I got him there. 17, I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker out of Seattle. I know he's got a little injury now, but I don't expect it to last too long. He's a guy who put up production last year. Geno plays the way Geno played. You're going to have a lot of run opportunities. You're going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. And adding JSN in the draft from Ohio State and having Lockett and Metcalf, you're going to have a lot of ability to run the ball because they're not going to be able to stack the box on you up there. So Walker is a guy I'm actually keeping it. We have a keeper league where you keep one guy and you give up, say you drafted him in the 8th round, like I did Walker, you just move him up 1 round and you give up a 7th round pick for him. So I'm easily giving up a 7th round pick for Kenneth Walker, who's going late 3, early 4 in most drafts. 16, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon with 1 year left. He's got some miles on those legs. I'm a little hesitant to take him higher. Joe Mixon 2 years ago was the number 1 running back in fantasy football. But with the evolution of that passing offense there, I just don't see them being that run and getting the touches like we've talked about. And now with the committees, Mixon might just be, they got a speedster that they brought in there as a backup. So he gets some nice touches on 3rd downs and then kind of takes away. And you want to rest Mixon for the playoff runs too. You don't want to wear him out in September, October. So another guy who, if you get at RB2, you should be very, very happy with. 15 through 11. I got Madison from the Minnesota Vikings at 15, who now gets the bulk of the carries. That Cook is gone. 14, I got Najee Harris. 13, I got your guy, Gibbs. 12, I got ETN. And 11, I got Stevenson.
From New England.
Who is their offense? Passing, running, their offense. If he gets hurt, they might be a 2-win football team.
Because they let Harris walk to Buffalo.
Yeah. So I think Stevenson is a very, very underrated running back in terms of fantasy. And if you get full point PPR, some leagues do half a point PPR, point per reception, you're going to get really good value with him. If you can get him as a late RB1, you should be happy. Now 6 through 10, number 10, and this might be too low, is Breece Hall from the Jets. A lot of people believe, even though he had ACL surgery in November, he was running 23 miles an hour in May. He's been cutting. He looks good. Coach Salah said that he's going to be activated in the next couple of weeks, which means he would be a green light go for week 1.
Real quick, Nick. Because I've been thinking about this, and I kind of talked about it last night. I think me and MJ did. I know we've been talking about Dalvin Cook to the Jets. Why isn't he not signed yet?
I have a theory on that, and I did that on the Jets show. My theory is why he didn't sign with the Jets. I told Jets fans, if we get Dalvin Cook, you should be ecstatic. If we don't get Dalvin Cook, you should be even more ecstatic, because it means that Breece Hall is going to be Breece Hall RB1 day 1, and Cook's not going to get the touches that he wants here. You go to Miami, Mostert's never been healthy. Wilson's never been a number 1 back. They drafted the kid in the 3rd round. I think for Dalvin Cook, if you want to still be RB1 in this league, I think Miami's a better situation for you. And the fact that he got in the building with the Jets and he had to ask, how am I going to – is Breece Hall on the pup for 4 weeks or pup for 6 weeks? Is he short-term IR for 4 weeks? If that's the case, I think Cook doesn't leave the building. If he hears you're going to be RB1 for the first 6 games.
Right there, Nick. He left the building. That's why I'm asking that question.
Yeah, and that's my theory on it. Everyone else thinks, it's Jets fans panicking. He's using us to raise the value. The contract offer is the contract offer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said if I'm the Jets, you leave the building, contract's off the table, and we're going to make that publicly known. That way you don't use us against anyone else. You'd be bidding against yourself at this point. You sign the contract when you're here, or else we take it off the table. We move on. You move on. Go get Kareem Hunt if you need a backup to catch passes, right?
Ooh, Kareem Hunt's still out on the market.
So is Leonard Fournette. You need a big physical back.
I like Lenny, but he has a little Zion Williamson tendency where he can't leave the beignets alone.
He does, but I need a running back.
Euphemism for bitches.
No, but
I need a running back though who can run between the tackles. I got speed in Hall. I got a shifty pass catcher in Michael Carter. I got a young burner in Izzy. If I need a guy to get between the tackles, give me Leonard Fournette. He would do something that no one else in the Jet running back room does.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Right. Go on with your list, Nick.
Go ahead, Nick.
I just needed to ask that question as you being a Jet fan. I was kind of thinking the theory somewhere similar to that, because I'm like, if he really wanted to be there,
theory. Yeah.
Because I hate agreeing with you because it makes me.
Yeah,
everyone watches knows. You don't have to say it anymore. We all know. You hate being right, so you hate agreeing with me.
Go ahead, man.
Sorry, I'm getting all the alerts of video of Jets showing up to the freaking stadium. Where was I? Back to
who's that? Breece Hall at 10.
Number 9. Number 9, I got Josh Jacobs. I think losing Derek Carr, he hasn't even signed the deal yet. He hasn't signed his tender yet. So I would have Jacobs higher if he was signed and he was there. But as of right now, that's going to bump him down a little bit for me. But if I'm picking towards the end of round 1 and early second round, when it goes 1 to 12 and then 12 back up to 1, if I'm picking that early second round and say I took a stud receiver in round 1, I got no issue with Josh Jacobs being my RB1. Any of these guys you're going to be happy with, right, as your RB1. Number 8, Mr. Reliable, Derrick Henry.
Henry. All right.
You know, it's a good thing for him to get Hopkins.
Yeah.
You know, you now you have a credible threat. Burks
can't stack the box.
Traylon Burks last year did not show he could be a number 1. Maybe you can be a good number 2.
He had some injuries. He did. I get what you're saying overall. Though.
I mean, you look at Garrett Wilson. You look at Drake London. You look at Chris Olave.
Yeah.
You look at There was one more. I forget. But other wide receivers who were taken in round 1 last year showed
they look legit.
Wide receiver potential.
Yeah, they look legit.
Did not show that as of yet. Not saying he can't.
No, huge question mark. I get what you're saying. Huge question mark. So, but to him getting in the room with D-Hop is going to make him better because D-Hop still has a little bit left in the gas tank, and he makes that wide receiver room better. But it helps Derrick Henry because you can't stack the box now.
Yeah,
stack it.
You have a legitimate threat, and now Burks goes up against number 2 cornerbacks instead of number 1s for teams that travel. Right? Some of the teams just stay your left side, your right side. But
and he'll be bigger than most cornerbacks because he's like 6'3", 6'4", or something.
He's big.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Big. So I got him there. Number 7, and I'm not mad if you take this guy higher than the 7th running back. Just with what they have on offense is Pollard with the Cowboys. He's shown some really good flashes. He's shown a dynamic that the Cowboys haven't had at running back with Elliott. Elliott was more between the tackles, follow a great block, and then run over like a linebacker. Pollard can run away from anybody, and he's physical enough where he can get through some tackles too. So I'm not a Cowboy fan at all, but I do like Pollard's game. Number 6, Saquon Barkley. He's that offense. He's takes a lot of pressure off Daniel Jones. The offensive coordinator / head coach, Brian Daboll, is going to get the ball in his hands. He's going to get him out in space. He's going to give him the opportunity to make plays. He catches out of the backfield. It's everything you want from an RB1. So Barkley is a very good RB1 to get. And number 5, I got this guy higher than some other people. He was injured last year, and I know we discussed him earlier. Can we not forget how great Jonathan Taylor was the year before? Where last year he was the clear-cut number 1 pick in every fantasy league.
He's damn good. He's damn
good. The offensive line is good. Now you got Richardson, who is expected to be the starting quarterback. I don't know how. I talked about it from February, right? The first draft mock show we did. I talked about Richardson and Taylor with an RPO becoming deadly. And it looks as if Richardson's going to be the dead one. The dead one. Jesus. The starting one.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
No. You've been on that combo. Matter of fact, another moment that you made me, crawl in my skin at the process.
At the sight of him?
No, just the thought of him being right.
Oh,
I mean,
all right. You almost got a Triple H spray right into the camera.
But no, it's I'm having a hard time. Like usually, I'm good with sitting rookie quarterbacks, let them learn.
Right.
But I'm having a hard time not to, Gardner Minshew, what this kid possibly could bring. It's kind of hard to ignore it. It really is. If
it is,
if I'm saying Steichen, I'm really thinking about it, bro.
I mean, the organization.
You got money
anyway. Don't matter.
You got money you want to spend. If you hear Richardson is starting QB day 1, I would put money down on him to be offensive rookie of the year. Because he's going to run for a dozen touchdowns. You're going to see Cam Newton.
Yeah.
In this kid, the size, the speed, the short down, the goal line, the jumping over people at the goal line, he's going to put up 10, 12 rushing touchdowns. Aside from passing, you're going to see a freak athlete.
I'm glad you said that, Nick, because I've seen some coach stuff on Twitter. He's been darting them. He's been making some good.
The expectation is QB1 right now.
Well, but even in college, bro, I mean, he just wasn't consistent. That's all. He has got, hopefully he learns to be consistent. He'd throw some great passes, and all of a sudden he'd throw some. What the hell are you doing?
But here's in this scenario. Think about it this way: do I rather want to go ahead and go through the growing pains and actually have a chance to win, or do I just sit there and just lose with Gardner Minshew?
I guess it all depends on how well he's advanced.
And I'm not trying to shit on Gardner Minshew. I think he's nice.
He's doing a good job at it, but
no.
It all depends on.
He's done well, but he's not at that athletic level.
Oh no.
Even close to Anthony Richardson. It's just like
it's a different. It's a veteran quarterback who's got familiarity with the system, coming from Philly, who can help teach it to him. And Minshew is a very underrated quarterback. He's had some good numbers and good success in the league. Yeah. He's just never had anybody give him the keys to the castle, right? Yeah. He's always been like looked down upon as a guy who can't lead a team, but he's done well in multiple places that he's played.
I agree. But go ahead, you Jonathan Taylor. I'm with you on that. Who you got at 4?
Number 4, I got Nick Chubb.
Okay.
I mean, you know what Cleveland does. Cleveland commits to running the ball. You got the quarterback there. Mr. Rubdown is back at quarterback for the whole offseason. And you got a good passing threat.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Rubdown. Mr. Rubber. He doesn't wear a rubber.
Whoa. This guy.
Sorry, man. It was breaking news.
This shit is getting out of control, man. Hey, man, go ahead.
What you talking about? And down till you say stop. Let me play with your body, baby, make you real hot. Cause tonight, baby,
I wanna get crazy with you. Just vanilla ice.
That is that'd be Deshaun Watson theme song. He's walking in a massage parlor plant.
This show has gone off the rails.
And sign here.
He walked in like it's the 80s. He walks in like it's the 1980s with the boombox on his shoulder.
Boombox in one hand.
And 8 double D batteries, 8 D batteries in it to make that goddamn thing run. And then all you hear is, there's some hoes in this house.
Right.
There's some hoes in this house.
Radio one hand, NDA another one.
My hand to God, I was thinking of making that joke too. When you're my hand to God, and I love that you had the notebook too.
All right, we got visual aids over here.
Let's bring it back.
Bring it back.
We do a little John Travolta. We do John Travolta in Face Off. We gotta bring it back.
Go ahead, Nick.
This did not happen, bro. Oh God.
Nicholas is on you.
I'm just thinking about how awesome that was for being unplanned. We look like we rehearsed that shit. Bruh, I'm ready to be like Mr. Kennedy with the mic dropping down to me. Like, yeah, shit.
Hey, MJ, no worries. Right after we get off the show, I'm downloading it and I'm snipping it. That's the first thing getting snipped, straight up. That's hilarious.
He's getting it snipped. L'chaim to our Jewish viewers.
L'chaim.
All right.
Hey, they come with money. Y'all want to sponsor something? Go ahead.
Number 3.
Yes.
I don't care. I don't care if he's a rookie. I'm going Bijan Robinson.
Okay.
I'm going Robinson. He can catch. Lamar mentioned earlier what he can do out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He's going to be a very unique weapon.
Ooh.
And he's going to make Arthur Smith the coach of the year in the NFL. For what the Falcons are going to do, they spent a good amount of money bringing in system guys on defense, and they brought him in on offense. He can be the offense by himself. You're going to see what Saquon Barkley did in year 1 when Barkley came in and lit the league on fire right away.
Right.
And you're going to see Robinson with that too. You're going to see highlight plays. You're going to see creativity. Like you're going to see Bijan Robinson highlights every week, and the guy's going to get in the end zone a lot, in my opinion. Number 2, in one of my leagues, I have the number 3 pick, the one that I'm keeping Walker in the 7th round, and my depth chart at 3 is Jefferson at 1, CMC 2, and this guy Austin Eckler at 3. I'm guaranteed to get one of those 3 guys, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with Eckler. Eckler caught 100 balls. You're going to get those points. You're going to get receiving. You're on an elite offense. You know, when you get the RB1s, you want to make sure they have a good offense too, because longer drives, more opportunities, more red zone touches, and Eckler's just a fantasy stud. I know he's been bitching a little bit about money, but they all do. No one's ever happy anymore. But he plays hard. He's healthy. Now that I said that, if I pick him at 3, he's guaranteed to get an injury because I have a unique jinx. Number 1 is McCaffrey, with what he does in fantasy and catching the ball, and you have a question at quarterback. Brock Purdy would be in year 2 if he starts. Sam Darnold could start. There's a lot of good stories coming out of there with Sam Darnold in San Francisco right now. Shanahan being the quarterback whisperer. Everybody who he touches and puts in a quarterback succeeds. Or Trey Lance. So I'm very curious to see what happens at the quarterback position, but whoever is a quarterback, awesome. Sauce Gardner shows up in a Darrelle Revis shirt for the Hall of Fame game. Revis is going into Hall of Fame this weekend for those that don't know. So pretty cool. And that's the running backs. Let me throw it to you guys for a minute. Let me put the quarterback list together. Throw me some thoughts about tonight. With football being back, are you watching? What are you looking forward to? And let me finish this QB list up real quick, and I'll fly through it.
Go ahead, Lamar.
Well, I mean, obviously, because we're, football, NFL football in particular, is, the sport of America right now. I mean, let's just call it what it is. The king in the money, the king in marketing. But hey, fact of the matter is, everybody's decided.
Start playing Run DMC, you down with the king, and we all start singing that shit. That would be dope too.
But it doesn't matter that it's preseason. We know it's preseason. Obviously, for Jets fans and Browns fans, it gives them a chance to see, what's on the depth chart behind your starters and your second string. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably not going to see, much from your second string either.
I would not be watching. What?
Okay. But it gives us that fix.
Right.
It gives us that chance to go ahead and get that feel again of watching sports and football in particular. Mm-hmm. But I'm also down with the pageantry of for the Hall of Fame case. Obviously they're going to display all the Hall of Famers going in. Zach Thomas gets in. Darrell.
Joe Flacco, Joe Thomas.
Oh, Joe Flacco?
Joe Thomas. Joe Flacco.
Cowboy is wearing this class.
Yeah, DeMarcus Ware.
Good class. It's a very. I mean, the Hall of Fame, you always have Hall of Famers. But I think this is a very good class.
Yeah. So it's always,
some of them are better than others, right? Sometimes you just get one guy at the head of the class, and like everyone else is just kind of thrown in with them. I think this is one of the better classes that you've seen.
I got a question, and go ahead and finish your list, Nick, and then come back in on this question. So, Mel, I was a Darrelle Revis fan, and some people, they make this case. Did he play long enough? Did he do enough to warrant, being a Hall of Famer? Yeah, Ronnie Barber gets in, because, for those who make that argument, they say, hey, he had a nice run, but it was only for a certain amount of period, and then it kind of just went away real quick. They kind of equate Darrelle Revis to Terrell Davis, if that makes sense. Because if you look at Terrell Davis's numbers, it's not going to blow your mind. He does have a 2,000-yard rushing season in there, but his period, because of injuries, only lasted for probably like 4 or 5 years. So what would be your argument on Darrelle Revis's case?
First, I'll say fuck Nick, but
I was gonna chime in and say take your hatred for me out of the answer. So perfect, right?
No problem. We know each other. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
I don't expect you going nowhere, bro. You're gonna stay right in your hatred.
Right here, staying mayor of the city. But I just think, man, when you have when they set up a whole name for you and call it Revis Island, you make an impact. You know what I'm saying? And I'm big on how does that player impact the game.
Yeah.
When they won't throw to your side, you make an impact. So to me, that says it all. when you look at some other people who play his position, they still threw it at you. Yeah, you made plays, but they would still throw it to your side. Are you as good as the one they don't throw to their side? When you can say, I got this side, y'all take care of that side. To me, that speaks to how your greatness. And so I don't have a problem with him getting in. And I think what he did, I mean, he was must-watch TV. When the Jets played, he's one of the bright spots is watching the Jets play. And that's not a dig at the Jets. I'm just saying when they play, who they highlight? You know how they do the pregame of the show. They always talk about Revis. Let's see who Revis gonna match up with. Let's see who he shuts down. And that was part of what drew you into watching the game. He's like, oh, let me see if he's gonna shut him down. So I think to me, his impact on a game speaks volume. So I think that right there puts him in.
I'm with you. Take nothing away. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry. And fuck Nick. Go ahead now.
I didn't talk. I waited for it. I knew it was much like a box of Kleenex next to your bed while women's soccer is on. I knew it was coming. I knew what was coming. So I'm gonna take my Jet hat off, and I'm gonna talk as a fan of the game. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen a cornerback do what Darrelle Revis did. When you look at that 2009 season, when he went up against Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, Terrell Owens twice, Randy Moss twice, and you go look at the stats of those guys, and it was 1 catch, 12 yards, 3 catches, 35 was like one of the most. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows the meme. We've all seen the picture stat that's been out there with Revis Island that season. Right. You look what he did in 08, 09, 10, and then he got injured. You're looking at what I consider like Don Mattingly in the 80s. You're looking at one of the greatest runs, but it was very short-lived, like you said, with Terrell Davis. Mm-hmm. His peak is unmatched, in my opinion, at cornerback. Right. You didn't mention him during the game because very rarely were quarterbacks dumb enough to even look that way. Mm-hmm. You had to operate your offense on 2/3 of the field in a passing game, which is wild to think of, right?
Right.
He's Ty Law's nephew. His technique was flawless. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the strongest. I've never watched anybody play the cornerback position with better technique. Dion was a better athlete. Dion's athleticism allowed him to make up for mistakes in coverage.
Right.
Revis very rarely had technical mistakes. So if you want to teach someone how to play the cornerback position, you show footage of Darrelle Revis. And guys have had longer careers. Guys have had careers that went up and down. He had 2 ACL injuries. And if he doesn't have those injuries, he's even higher up the list. I don't know how the NFL did their all 100 team, and he didn't make it. I don't get it. But that's another conversation for another day. But and I'm glad Joe Klecko, who is the only player in NFL history to make the Pro Bowl at 3 different positions. He made it at nose tackle, defensive tackle, and defensive end.
Man, Klecko and Gastineau, man.
The year that Gastineau had 22 sacks, I think Klecko had 20 and a half.
Go back to that. To what I said, those were when they were playing. It was why I watched the Jets play. Just to watch them 2 play. It was a great. That was when I came up as a Jet fan with the sack exchange. Marty Lyons, Abdul Salam, Klecko, and Gastineau on that D line. Right.
I mean, that D line was ferocious, and teams still we're trying to rebuild that now. So teams are trying to get that. So shout out to Klecko for finally going in. And it sucks to say this, but when you have to wait for the senior committee to put you in, and this isn't just for Klecko, this is for everybody all around. You're happy that they're still alive to see themselves go in, right? Like, I think that one of the worst things in sports is a guy gets put into the Hall of Fame after he passes away.
That's what happened to Pete Rose.
Pete Rose, no, he's not in.
I said it's going to happen to Pete Rose. Watch, when he die, mark my words, when he die, you're going to find a way to put him in.
And that's spiteful. For him, it would be spiteful, right? We're never letting him know he got in.
Right.
But there's people who they pass, unfortunately.
Hey, there's people that operate like that in in these Hall of Fame voting committees. So I mean,
hey. Most of them are writers.
Yeah,
mad because they couldn't play.
You know, it's a very good class. You put Rondé Barber and Darrell Revis at cornerback. You got Zach Thomas in the middle. You got DeMarcus Ware as pass rusher. You got Joe Thomas as tackle. You got Klecko next to Ware on your D line. It's a hell of a class, man. It's a very, very good class. So I'm looking forward to, as a Jet fan, with the team playing tonight and 2 Jets going in. Like, we're not a prestigious team. Like, I'm not breaking news with that. It's almost yearly. Cowboys, 49ers, Steelers, have guys, Patriots now with their run being over are going to have guys going in, left and right. So to have 2 Jets going in the same class is pretty special as a fan. So I'm looking forward to all the events. The Jets got the tour last night, private tour of the Hall of Fame thing. They played today. I think it sucks though that they're not going to be there Saturday for the Hall of Fame ceremony. They're going to be back here practicing. So I kind of don't like that. I thought maybe the team should have stayed to see 2 of their own go in, but not my call.
Hey,
but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, let's get to these quarterbacks of fantasy league. Your top rankings of them.
All right, so now remember, this is fantasy. This is based off of running and scoring touchdown. Rushing touchdowns are worth 6. Most leagues, passing touchdowns are worth 4. So the running quarterbacks hold more weight. So if you're in a 12-man league, I did 12, and these are my 12 that I'll target as my starting quarterback. Number 12, Aaron Rodgers. He still can throw the ball. He can still put up touchdowns. I think he'll have a nice fantasy year. I think he'll be on the north side of 30 touchdown passes.
And he killed me last year, that son of a bitch. Kirk Cousins outperformed him in fantasy last year.
He got injured. They took Devontae Adams away. He had the Dobbs and Watson who didn't develop until mid-year. But when they developed, all of a sudden his numbers went up, right?
Yeah, they did.
The days that you bench him is when he goes 4 touchdowns, 325, right?
Hey, I wouldn't be. If my memory could recollect, it probably did happen. So
yeah. Well, Watson had the 3 touchdown game. Was it against the Cowboys? He had a 3 touchdown game. I think Rodgers had 4 touchdowns, maybe more.
Yeah, but I was scared to take Cousins out because the Justin Jefferson factor. So it was kind of like what I do.
Yeah. Well, perfect timing. Number 11, I got Mr. Reliability, Kirk Cousins. I know, fuck Kirk Cousins, man. I'll say it for you. But when you look at fantasy-wise and you have Jefferson, you know that, and he's got Hawkinson, and then they drafted Addison. They got Hamler. They're going to throw the ball. It's what they do. And Cousins is going to put up numbers. He's going to be on the north side of 30 touchdowns. He's going to be on the north side of 4,000 yards. He's Mr. Consistent. I've said it here on the show. We're talking about his play, but the same thing with fantasy. He is the most elite average quarterback we've ever seen. If you look up average quarterback in the dictionary, it's a picture of Kirk Cousins. Like, he's got the trophy, and he is the most elite average quarterback we've ever seen. He's Mr. Consistent. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he will keep you relevant in fantasy. It allows you, if you're taking him. Oh, that's just a week. Okay. All right. Number 10. This might be too low, considering when he was with Houston, Deshaun Watson. He was a dual threat. He was a number 4 fantasy quarterback the last full season that he played down in Houston. Obviously, there's question marks with him with the time off and what he's the last time he played a full season was the COVID year, 2020. They sat him out 21, and then he was suspended for most of 22. So coming in at 10, we've talked about him earlier. If he is giving the starting position, I got Richardson. I got Anthony Richardson in the top 10 for fantasy. He might only throw 15 to 20 touchdowns, but he's going to run for several hundred yards, and I think he's going to have 10 to 12 rushing touchdowns. I think he is going to be a highlight film. I really, really do. Number 9, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Number 8, Trevor Lawrence. He's a running threat as well. He's my pick for MVP this year in the NFL. I think that with adding Calvin Ridley there and the weapons that they have on offense and the coaching that they have in Peterson, don't forget what he did with Carson Wentz in the second year that he had Wentz. You're going to see Lawrence up there with the MVP talks this season. That's my opinion. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Dude is just an assassin. Throws, he's going to be close to 40 touchdowns. It's going to be a fun year for him. You add Quentin Johnston in there, so you keep bringing in weapons. You got Eckler out of the backfield who can catch and take it from everywhere. It's going to be high percentage, high volume, high yardage, high touchdowns. Next, 6, I got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is healthy. Lamar Jackson is one of the best fantasy quarterbacks to have because of his running. He can run for touchdown from anywhere on the field. You added Zay Flowers. You added Beckham. You got Andrew still. You have better weapons than you've had in Baltimore in a very long time. If your passing numbers do not go up, you just need to transition to a running back full time because but fantasy wise, you gotta weigh the risk. He has missed games the last couple of years, so if you do take someone like him, I would suggest taking a backup quarterback not too far after it. You don't want to end up with somebody like Brock Purdy as your backup fantasy quarterback. You want to get a solid backup.
That's fair.
Number 5, Joe Burrow. Dude's a dog. We know what he's going to do. We know that he can go for 506 touchdowns any given Sunday, right? He's a top 5 fantasy quarterback. He's going to be consistent week in and week out. We know they're going to throw the ball. I don't think the calf is much to worry about. I think he's ready to go day 1. Number 4, my prediction for the fantasy MVP and a guy who is going to lead many teams to a championship, Justin Fields. I think with DJ Moore, he's going to be a much better passer. You got Moore, you got Kmet, you got a nice little trio there. Mooney now slides down to a 3rd wide receiver and can work in that slot more, which he's more suited for. So the passing attack, I think you'll see evolve, and we know he can run like a motherfucker. So top 3, no surprise. Josh Allen at 3, Patrick Mahomes at 2, and with his running, Jalen Hurts at 1.
Oh, okay. That's a nice list.
Hurts runs and gets you those rushing touchdowns, and his passing has evolved. Mahomes, like I said, if it's a 6-point league for passing touchdowns, you bump Mahomes first, and you debate Mahomes in the first round. But with their 4-point passing touchdowns, which almost every league is, that knows what they're doing, then it takes the weight off and balances it. And you'd rather get the premium players and then take your quarterback late 2nd round, because then you have the early 3rd round pick to get another positional player. But you got to see your scoring. You got to see the yardage. You got to see the bonuses. Some people do a bonus for 300, bonus for 400, and the bonuses are absurd. Some people do a point every 50 yards passing. Some do a point every 25. So you got to look at your league structure and draft accordingly. The best thing to do is getting to your available players list. Look at the mocks. Run a mock where you're not even drafting and look where your league, based off of the scoring, has people going. And that'll give you a good idea on where they should go. Of course, the human element comes in and fucks it up. People reach. People have players they like. People have I want to get a guy on my team so I can root for him. There's always the human element that throws a curveball or knuckleball at you. But just be consistent. Have a game plan going in and don't fly by the seat of your chair.
True. Hey, man, really appreciate you putting that list together. So, dude, it is. We went through every position fantasy-wise except the kickers. Come on, we're not discussing that.
Jake Moody. I got Jake Moody.
I
don't even have my 2 main leagues. We voted kickers out. I was telling you yesterday on the phone. We don't even have kickers in our league.
But no, man, really appreciate you putting those lists together for every position fantasy wise. So look out for that. We'll get the fantasy league running up, but definitely tap in with the football pick'em league because, hey, man, there's cash involved. The title belt goes with it. We'll come up with something for the fantasy, so we'll see what's up with that. But hey, man, dope show. Definitely that segment is getting clipped. Definitely look out for that. It's going to go on the greatest hits of I.O.W. So, hey, man, y'all know what it is. Tap in with us, I.O.W. Sports Network, Facebook, Instagram, most importantly, YouTube. All the content is at like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share, like, all that. I.O.W. Sports 1 on Twitter. Hey, tap in. Proud New York Jets fans, for all you Jet fans out there. No Name Podcast, Detroit Lions fans, Wildcard Chief for you Chiefs fans. Y'all know what it is, man. Tap in with us Monday. And if you ain't got nothing going on tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tap in with myself and Jersey Boy MJ for the Late Night Owl edition.
Can I add something very important before we leave?
Go ahead, bro.
I just want to wish happy birthday, 24th, to Zach Wilson, and also Tom Brady. Fuck you and your birthday, bitch. You suck.
Oh, damn.
The true Jets fans will always come out.
Well, this is what Aaron Rodgers tweeted. It's Zach Wilson in a Captain America outfit, and Aaron Rodgers says, "Happy 24th birthday, little bro."
Hey, man, we appreciate the love and the support, man. Keep rocking with us, man. We're going to keep cranking out this content. We'll see y'all Monday. Peace.